And welcome everybody to CappingTV's continued coverage of ozfortress Season 27. We're coming to you live tonight with the intermediate semifinals. We have Dream Circle Jerk versus Drug Lab. I am Just Jazz, joining me today. There we go. Get my words in order. Joining me today is my good friend Snazzy. Snazzy, how are you today?
Oh, living the life, mate. Just another day being an essential worker.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. The coronavirus hasn't quite gotten to your workplace then yet?
They refused to let it, apparently. They said, and I quote, "We must not and cannot close at all costs." It's just good to know that I'm one of the costs.
Yeah, what's your life? It's not worth all that much. If it was worth more, you'd be probably doing something else and not casting TF2 on 9 p.m. on a Thursday night. But we're happy to have you here anyway. I think it's going to be a good night of TF2. You know, we've got two extremely good teams here in the semifinal: Dream Circle Jerk and Drug Lab. And I mean, I'm just looking, as always, I'm looking forward to a good night of TF2. And so we've gotten a couple of the picks and bans out of the way so far. We're still waiting on those last two picks from Drug Lab and Dream Circle Jerk, but we can give you the bans.
Woohoo!
So in order, Dream Circle Jerk has banned Reckoner. Drug Lab then returns the favor, bans Sunshine. Dream then bans Granary, and then Drug Lab bans Process. So they've actually, Drug Lab has knocked out two of the most favorited pug maps in Process and Sunshine. And then I think Dream banning Reckoner and Granary are a bit interesting. But they've also, Dream has picked Gully Wash as their first map choice. So that's what we're going to go live on first. And then afterwards, to be determined, because we're still waiting on those other picks.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, when you get this high into the division, this is sort of like, this is where you start seeing your teams that really can contend in the Premier Division.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've seen some of these players certainly on Dream up in Prem before. Dubious is one of the examples, and sure some of the others have played. But we've also seen Drug Lab. You know, Drug Lab I think won intermediate not last season, but the season before, season 25. I mean, and they're a team that's been around for a while. You know, they've all played together too. You know, we've seen them represent at LAN too, coming third place, and yeah, so I mean, so both of these teams are two teams that have a wealth of experience, and in the case of Drug Lab, have a wealth of playing time behind them, and it'll be interesting to see like what's the deciding factor. Is it the experience that you're going to get from Dream, or is it maybe that camaraderie and that the team spirit, if you will, from the side of Drug Lab?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't really discount Drug Lab's experience. They do have Yodi and So both actually played Prem. If Drug Lab gives like Mist Sniper too much respect, that's when they're going to start losing. Because there's still really good snipers of Drug Lab, but you know, not as top as like one of the top Highlander snipers, if not the top, like Mist.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our analyst for the night. He is both famous and infamous, but we are very glad to have him on board for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Oz to the cast. Oz, you've been so gracious with your time tonight. Just give us a quick rundown of the team, because I know you are someone who knows a lot about these players. You played with and against these guys, and I certainly remember Land Down Under 2019, where you're just going absolutely annihilating Drug Lab with that quickie bomb crits. So yeah, just give us a quick rundown, man.
So I've actually played with teams, a bit more with you know, the Dream Circle Jerk players, but I also play with Drug Lab a little. I think like they have both kind of the same team dynamic. You know, Dubious loves solo boos, as well as Yachty. He's been taking all those solo boos, but I think if Drug Lab can pump heals into Yachty and Sayo, they can do so much more, and Old's team can, you know, come out top. But you know, players like Mist as well as Daz, I think the soldiers of what's it called, Dream Circle Jerk, Rowan. I think Rowan plays really well with his team. I think a lot of the players play actually around Rowan. They're trying to make that. But I think, you know, if Dubious can restrain, because I was talking to those guys and they said, Dubious likes his solo ubers, but they don't really like that. So if they can play around someone like Rowan, I think they'll do much better, because Rowan is a pretty talented pocket, but he does like when the team plays around him. I think, Deep and Sky, obviously playing on the bench, not being able to play. Then you have Daz, who's fairly new in Dem. He's really learning quickly and he's doing, really well. But if he can on Sayo, because Sayo's a really good player, so as long as Sayo gets shut down or starts tilting, it'll kind of be the end of Sayo. But I think it's more up to actually the soldiers of DLab. They don't perform. Sayo and Yachty won't have much to go off, and that's kind of the factor.
Definitely.
I can't really tell you who's going to win because both teams are actually really close in skill. I literally cannot tell you who's going to win today.
Well, we'll get to the map picks because they've just finished that up, and if you want to elaborate on the strengths of the teams on the different maps, by all means. But so, of the maps that are picked, we've got Gully Wash for the first map. That was Dream's pick. Then we have Snakewater for the second. That was DLab's. And then to round it off, everybody's favorite Product as the decider if we do happen to go to that third map. Obviously these maps, especially Gully Wash, they're very soldier centric, I feel. And Gully Wash is certainly, it's really going to benefit the splash damage classes, not to discount the scouts. And then on Snakewater as well. I think that then plays both into the scouts and the soldiers, and the demos are obviously going to do a lot of work. And then Product is just a big DM fest, a never-ending mid-fight, as they call it. So, what are your thoughts on those map picks, Oz?
Well, I think Dream Circle Jerk did quite well in picking Gully Wash. That's I actually played with Mist this season. He was playing actually more sniper than scout or soldier. What he was playing. So that's it might not look like a really heavy sniper map, but you can actually pull it out on Big Door and just start pumping headshots. And
Definitely.
The soldiers are really strong off Dream Circle Jerk. They have Rowan and what was the other one?
I think it's Dubious, or maybe he's on scout.
Yes, possibly Dubious. Yeah, whatever their soldiers they have, I know they're actually strong, so that'll be quite a good. See them winning that one, maybe like a 3-1 scoreboard, but. I have played a lot of Snakewater against DLab, and I don't think we've ever won. They're a really strong team on Snakewater, so it was quite a strong pick for them as well. Product, the thing with the Product is, having a strong demo like Sayo, if you just drop heals into him and Yachty, they will farm on the map. But playing against like a sniper like Mist, who barely misses shots, depending on how washed he is or how how wet he is, we'll see how he can hit shit. I think if Alt will snipe, he can maybe actually contest Mist. Alt's quite a talented sniper as well, but that's a really interesting map. I don't know who will win that map. I could definitely see Mist sniping, if not even Mist, maybe David Dubious, Jack, still good snipers.
I mean, well, that's the good thing about both of these teams too, is that they have players that can all do those janky off-class plays and play more than one position. So they're all quite well balanced, and I mean, certainly they're both in the semifinals for a reason. Like, they've been grinding it out this entire season, really trying to just grind out those wins, and at this point, it's sort of last gasp for the dice, last throw of the dice rather, for both teams. If you lose here, you're third place. Better luck next season, and I think that sort of that pressure is going to drive. At least hopefully drive both of the teams to really start performing, and I think what it'll translate into is hopefully 3 maps, unless you're snazzy, which you got to work tomorrow, so maybe just 2 maps, but hopefully it'll just be a set of really good games. And yeah, I mean, well, we're looking at the teams on Gully Wash right now, and I think all the players have joined the server, so I imagine we're going to be readying up soon. Any predictions before we kick the game off, Oz?
I'm actually going to say 3-2 to Dream Circle Jerk on Gully Wash, and then I'm going to say for the next map, which would be Snakewater, I'm going to say 5-2 to DLab, but I can't say Product. There's no way I can predict that map. That's me insane.
That's I mean, that's just a toss-up, a roll of the dice. Well, my prediction, and this is completely with no knowledge, I think on Goalie Wash, I'm gonna be bold. I'm calling 4-2 Drug Lab. If I win, if I get that, then I don't know. I'm gonna play the lottery tomorrow, and then Snakewater, maybe Dream 3-1, and then Product. I think if Dream wins on Snakewater, then they're gonna go into Product with a lot of confidence, and they're gonna take it in a 3-0 wipe.
I mean,
And
I can't really be biased. Like, I played with actually both these teams, and I'm still pretty close with almost every player on the server. Everyone here is pretty good, and there's actually really good talented players. You know, Yachty's been having really bad internet lately, but as long as he's not, you know, lagging and he's getting those heals, because he's gonna be forcing a lot of soul ubers. Yachty just loves those soul ubers, and you know, aim of his like a 75 looking axe scout. He's really does hit everything, makes everyone flash a lot. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just taking a couple quick notes on my notebook. Oz, do you know if Yachty or Zylife is Pocket Scout?
So you have Yachty on Pocket Scout.
Okay.
He's probably the most heal heavy scout you'll ever see. He basically takes like 30% heals every game.
And then it looks like Mist and Dubious are the two scouts. I'm just gonna assume Dubious is
Dubious on Pocket.
Definitely.
So I think the thing with Yachty taking like 28% heals is it's not giving Sayo as much as he likes, and like Sayo's always been like a 37% heal demo. Like he's so heavy heals, but it's wonders what the guy does with actually the heals. So I don't know how they kind of feel about that, but I still think it'll be working fine for them. I do know that Alt is having trouble connecting to the server or something.
It's that Albury internet. If you're Alt, or
He's back.
He might be back in the city. I can't remember.
He's back in his hometown.
I was about to say, I know he moved to Melbourne, and then the coronavirus outbreak really started to gain traction, and then he just left again. So, it's unfortunate. Wash your hands, everybody. If I hope I don't have to say that, but go wash your hands and practice social distancing, or don't. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your mom. But yeah, it should be good. It should be a good night of TF2. A bit fried at the moment. I had to cast for TeamFortress.tv earlier today as well. Their RGL Open Grand Finals. Sorry, Advanced Grand Finals, which was certainly a treat. But it's good to be casting. Good to be casting the home turf here, doing some ozfortress with Oz of all people. How great is that?
Yeah. I reckon it'll be a good night for casting.
We've got the Prem lower bracket finals as well. I guess the semifinal. We got the Prem game going on at the same time. I'll actually pull up the logs for that because I'm quite interested. I'm sure we got a lot of people watching on the other channel that's doing the stream over there. But yeah, needless to say, big implications as to who's going to be in the Prem final with that game, given that whoever wins that game is going to be in the Prem final. But it looks like, for those who aren't watching, in the Prem semi-final, Happy Feet actually beat No Order Gamers 4-2 on Goalie Wash, and now they're going to Granary.
Has it already started?
Yeah. It started about 30 minutes ago. So there's a little bit of overlap between their game and our game, but we've got the front page on Twitch booked out. So, ayo.
Do we actually?
Yeah. Head
Always, baby.
Head on the Twitch front page right now, my friend. You're gonna.
I'm currently on it.
Are we? Or maybe Mitch, our producer, said we did have it booked out. You booked what? Okay.
It might not have happened is essentially the word from production, my friends.
Womp.
Oh well. These things, they occur.
Snazzy, welcome back to the broadcast. Happy to have you back.
Yeah, hello. Apparently, we're getting some shout-outs in the chat. I'm sure the stream cannot see that. Yeah, in the server chat. That's what I mean.
It's better than some players being like, these casters are a bunch of cringe idiots.
Well,
Which is probably
To
what
be
they would
fair.
say about me, but they didn't. Snazzy, question. What are your predictions for this game?
I have none. I don't know. I got, to be honest, like, I mean, I was here while Oz was giving his analysis. He obviously has a much better idea of the team's ability than I do. I haven't really played with either of them. But I know a lot of people on both teams, and I know that both teams are, like, pretty fat rosters. Like,
Definitely.
there's a lot of really good gamers in the server. So, I mean, I really couldn't put it either way. I think it'll be very even, which, like you said, is not great for me, having to go to work tomorrow. Stare at a spreadsheet all day.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Essential workers. Thank God I was laid off the other day.
Were you really?
No, but I mean, it's a hospitality job, so obviously nobody's going to the restaurants, so it's pretty much like, hey, we can't give you shifts, but as soon as we can start giving you shifts again, you're in. But so, is what it is. I've actually been fairly productive with this quarantine time. As I was saying in the kind of our chat before we started going live, is been working out a whole lot, like every single day, and feeling really good, getting my getting swole like Modus. But as I say that, we have readied up, ladies and gentlemen. The semifinal for intermediate has begun.
I'm so excited.
I'm
on the
stoked.
Daz cam myself. He's going straight on up to choke. He's gotten up there. He's pretty early. So is Snatch, though. They're both sort of just facing each other off. They're firing at each other's medics. Redhawk going down fairly low. Not much happening otherwise. A lot of posturing. Jack's actually up behind. He hasn't really achieved much. He's got very low health. Tricker jumping forward. Sorry, Alt jumping forward. My bad. Dubious manages to finish him off. Tricker now jumping forward, taking out the Demo Man. And the med goes down to Tricker as well.
Yeah, Max gone down fairly early.
This is looking like a
pick up
fairly
Hawk,
good
too.
mid.
Yeah, it's just Mist alive, and he's just gonna leave, get the heck out of choke, and yeah, that's a fairly convincing first mid fight for DrugLab. Obviously, they've lost the med, so they can't roll into last with full Uber advantage. But still, it's a good way to start the game. Convincing mid fight, and now the question is, how are they going to get into second? What are they going to do to break this hold that they're getting going?
I think if you're the Circle Jerk here, you're pretty happy because you managed to take out their mid, so they couldn't snowball with ad and leapfrog Uber ad, player ad, Uber ad, player ad, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
But you also killed enough players that they couldn't realistically take control of second yet. So you've ended up in a spot here where you've got a tiny little bit of ad, not really much, but you still have two, and it's basically even. So they're not going to be pushing you. And then you can do what they're doing, and they've got... I don't know, they don't actually have Jack on Spy. That's my bad. He was on there just checking if there was any off classes, but he swapped back to Soldier. So we'll just be looking at a stalemate, but you'd be really happy if you're the Circle Jerk here.
Yeah. I mean, and goalie watchments they're so odd sometimes. It's so easy if you're the med. You either, I mean, it's going to sound cliche, you either die or you survive. But I find it's maybe it's the lower level medic in me, but it's so easy just to die or just some soldier come on top of you from out of nowhere. So, I think you're right. If you are Dream Circle Jerk, getting out of that first mid fight with an even Uber situation, holding your second is definitely a place you want to be. You never want to be facing your last, trying to hold your last so early on in the game. But now I think we're just going to see a game of sacks going on. Both teams holding very, very close to this choke point, just exchanging some spam. Trick has gone down, went down a couple seconds ago, and Rowan's actually going to come in. The force is going to come out. Both Ubers have been exchanged over near the choke, and it's just going to be players jumping around. No real frags have come out of it. Rowan does go down, but other than that, this is now the post fight. Jack's going to go down as well. Miss goes down, and then Alt goes down as well. So does Daz. So does Sayo. But this is really good, really good for DrugLab. They've managed to pick up 5 players. The only player that slept is the blue med, and he does go down. That's a full wipe. That if you're not going to win the mid fight and roll straight to last, wiping all the Dream Circle Jerk in the re-entering is exactly how you want to do that. As I say that, the double Soldier Bomb from Jack and Rowan onto second, forces out Hawk. And I think the scout does go down there. He goes down now, and it looks like they're just exchanging spam. Hawk goes down. Oh, big frags.
You can really tell that they sort of just committed both their soldiers there to try and get that med, because obviously with that sort of ad, that would have been a lost round really for them.
Definitely.
Even as it is, it might be, because they've really only got a med and a scout that are able to fight at the moment. They did just get some soldier spawn, so they should be able to turtle last, but they're in dangerous straits for a second there.
I just want to say, I think the problem with them is if they were all going to sack half their team for the medic, they need to make sure they don't get wiped themselves there, because they had like 2 players up only. If Red actually wanted to, they could have just really rushed at the last, taken care of Dubious and the medic there, and they would have been around already for DrugLab.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think this early on in the game, those are the risks you can really afford to take, especially, if it's like a 3-1 game, you really can't make those sort of mistakes. But if it's 1-0 and there's 3 minutes gone on the board, like sacking in those two soldiers just to see what happens is definitely, I believe that's a risk that I would take on my team. I mean, and it pays off for them. They did have full Uber ad for quite a while, but it has evened out here. So now the question is, where are they going to enter from? Or I guess where they're going to exit from, because they did give up that point. Sorry, I had to alt tab for a second. But fairly standard last hole. They do have the engineer class up even on this even Uber situation, which I think that's something you're seeing more and more. It used to just be you'd have the same cookie cutter loadout, and now it's now having that sentry or heavy as that extra level of protection really helps out, as we just see alt get absolutely annihilated by that sentry.
Sentry has been spotted though, so it can actually be spammed where it was. He's moved to the... he's shifted it. Somewhere between moved and shifted there. He's shifted it now, so it's in a slightly better spot, but it doesn't have as much view of the upper level there.
Well, in response to alt going down, he has come up on the sniper class, and he's trying to get a little angle in through main. They've already seen him. He's not going to get a shot off, and he's going to rotate up. Looks like up to river to try to get a different angle. Nope, maybe he's just doesn't know where he wants to go.
Max playing super safe. He's first and foremost, he's in that corner where you can't really get much of an angle on him without getting spammed. And second up, he's crouching inside a dispenser, so he's doing pretty well.
Yeah. Alt's gonna go down without even firing a shot besides his initial first shot. Jack also does go down from some sticky spam, but yeah, it looks like they're playing very patient. Mist goes down on the sniper, so that's another good threat eliminated. And they're going to use in through Shutter. A little bit of a misstep first, but they're forcing the blue medic to flash a lot. They're just going to have to back out. They do see that heavy weapons class up on the point. And they're going to re-enter now that the Ubers are faded and start really trying to get some pressure. They force the demo and the med back into spawn, and they're just trying to get more pressure on the point. But as I say, that alt goes down, the 2 scouts go down. Rowan and Dubious go down. Jack goes down too, so now they're getting a lot of cap time on the point. Nobody's noticed.
Yeah, I just want to say, Mac just went and focused when Trick was on the point there, and Red Hawk was just pumping arrows on Tricker when he was on top of point. We made Tricker just like a 500 heal soldier.
Getting onto the Sow cam here, Snatch cam. He's coming straight on through Choke. He's getting some good damage off towards the big door. Not much really happening off that one. His team is jumping onto the other team. Alt has just come over and died for his efforts, but they did end up cleaning up Jack with a sticky who came forward as well. Another jump coming out on the side of Rohan. He does go down midair as well. Daz takes out Yachty. Lot of damage coming in. The blue team's sort of being forced onto that little unders area there. Mac actually coming in for a saw. It might be the... It was. It was the deciding factor. He got that Uber.
I mean, but Hawk's in no man's land at this point. He's got no players with him, and he's just going to get cleaned up by Daz. Daz, that entire fight, was on the ground, just sending up stickies, sending up pipes as much as he could to help support his team who are fighting on that high ground, and he ends up getting the crucial med pick. And mean, this they did end up using Daz didn't, or sorry, Mac really did have to use his Uber there. So the Ubers aren't going to be as big as an advantage as maybe they would have been. But even then, you know, they've got 30 at their diff cap second, and if they can build this really quickly, they can push this into last. But DrugLab does have a couple of off classes. Actually, they got 3 off classes. Trick is a pyro, and then they've got a heavy and a engineer up as well. Xylife and Yachty sacrificing their scout mobility for just sheer damage output.
It's actually like one of the hardest setups to ever go through. It's like the ultimate defense setup. You put in any like big Uber disad.
Yeah.
It's actually good to see a inter-team knows how to do this.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I wonder where this pyro is positioned because I think they know that they're going to be pushing in through river, and they haven't used yet. They've got to start making something happening because the Ubers can even out very quickly.
But Hawk's on 80% now, basically. They've kind of lost this Uber ad, really.
Yeah. I think if they wanted to use in, they really had to be quick about that. But instead, I mean, yeah, you look at Hawk, his Uber now 90%, so they can not only can they afford to you know, set up shop a little bit longer. You know, if they do use their Uber in, like they're going to be facing, you know, a pyro, a heavy, or rather the heavy's gone, but you know, pyro and engineer. It's still a hell of a hold to break.
Yeah, it's a really difficult hold, especially on this map to break, just because of how, I don't know what word I'd want to use here, insular, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It's a pretty good last to be able to hold. There's not many easily get-inable angles, if that makes sense. A lot of choky points to get through. But you can see they have cleaned up the sentry, which raises their odds pretty well, with all classes being back to normal now. You can see Mist is sort of... He's trying to bait them into thinking that he might have gone under, but he is backing out a little bit. He's just being careful not to die up in river there. It looks like they're actually swapping their med up to river, so we might be... I was going to say it looks like we might see a push, but they actually just sacked both their soldiers, and now they're backing up. With Tricker timing out, I'm smelling a pause coming, but I don't know.
It's not come out yet. Dubious saying, don't worry, we won't push. Alt says same. as I say that, they push in. Dubious goes down quite early, and they've had to flash a lot of players they have, but the Uber has faded on the side of Dream. But they've got a Jack up on the spy, and he's just gonna go on the cap for free. But as I say that, he gets cleaned up. Tricka has rejoined the game as well. A bit of an interesting Uber push. Very unlucky for Dubious to go down quite early, but you know, good sticky positioning there to clean up any sort of non-flash threats. And now we're just going to see the reset. Jack, I imagine, has come back up on the soldier class, and both teams even Ubers. Be interesting to see what sort of push they devise out of this. Alt is up on the spy, but I don't know if he's just spy checking. Yeah, he's just spy checking. Mist does go down, try to get some cheeky cap time, and Jack goes down as well in an ensuing sack. And this is not too good for Dream Circle Jerk at the moment, dropping 2 players in a last push. It is going to be even Ubers, and the Uber gets forced out of Hawk and out of Mac. Where's the fighting going? I'm not on the right players. Oh, the fighting's in Baby Door. Oh, Hawk goes down, Taz goes down, Dubious goes down, and so does Sayo. Oh, they're just gonna roll straight into last here.
Yeah, it's really good to see. I was about to say while we were in the middle of that, like, yeah, they screwed up with a couple of sacks there, but they were real safe holding in Big Door there, and just being able to force that Uber as they came out of Baby Door. My God, you've sorted your life out. It's beautiful. It's what you want to see.
You love to see it, folks. So take us on this next mid, Snazzy.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm on a bird's eye view this time, and I'm seeing that both demos got there around about the same time. Alt has gone under, so we're going to have to see what he decides to do with that. He's crossed back into mid, and he's jumped right up onto Dad, snatching him clean that up very quickly. Rohan has gotten onto Red Hawk, and I've forgotten the name of the demo. Snack! There you go. Red Hawk going down to a double scout push, Mist and Dubious getting up there with heals. This is pretty much exactly what you want to do with your mid. Clean up a couple gamers and then just force your scouts across the point. Dubious going through. He's trying to take out the demo man. who's very low, 9 health, and he does manage to take him out. And that is a middle.
With the cheeky taunt as well to really just rub it in there. Jack, interestingly enough, has come up on the pyro play, so I think we might see a repeat of I remember season 25 DrugLab ran the pyro double scout Uber on the point to cap last push. Wondering if we're going to see a little bit of that action going on right now, but Jack has been spotted out. There was a soldier who popped up from launchpad at the right time, and they're gonna know. They're gonna know immediately. And the Uber does come in, and they're getting some cap time. There's good cap time on that point. The Sickies have been dead. The demo's gone down. So has the heavy. The refight is on. Dubious takes out the med. Mist takes out the med. They take out every player.
That's 2-1.
That's 2-1. So maybe a bit of a scuffed push, but it doesn't matter if it's scuffed or not if you get the cap at the end. So it's a really good post Uber fight from Dream Circle Jerk, and we're going to our fourth mid fight of the match, 2-1 so far.
Tell you what though, I'm not sure how this mid's gonna go because we've actually seen Yachty crash out of the game midway through that. I think just given the state of Australian internet at the moment.
But Alton actually Spy. He's kind of behind their whole enemy team.
Yeah, so Alt has come up on Spy and he's managed to sort of get all the way behind everyone. And given that they're all going big door, it might be time for the fat chain stab.
This guy's
in
the
behind.
enemy engineer. Oh,
He whiffs the stab.
He beefs it.
Oh, no. That's such a pity.
Every time he's been on Spy, he's missed. Oh my god. Beautiful access to get the backstab there, but it doesn't matter because Dream Socratic has just rolled this straight into last. They've used their Uber, and so has DrugLab. It's a bit chaotic at the moment. No, not a lot of frags coming out. And as I say, that Dream has dropped 2. They've dropped Rohan. They've dropped Dubious as well. And that's a good last hold on the side of DrugLab, which especially fighting that first mid fight. Not even showing up really. Alt missing the backstab. That's probably what you want. As I say that, Jack is up on Spy as well. He get cleaned up by a pipe to the face, and it's going to be a bit of a reset onto the midpoint here for both teams. But actually, no reset necessary. DrugLab's just going to come straight in. They pick up Rowan. Jack is still gone down, so it's a 4v6 at the moment, and you're just going to see Dream Circle Trick just back all the way back out. They don't want anything to do with this mid fight. They don't want to bleed any more players, and DrugLab is going to pick up this midpoint.
Look, I don't know if the Dream Circle Jerk actually knows about the diss app, but if I was them, I really wouldn't have been fighting that one given the way it was being pushed. They do clean up Yachty on the way into second here, but it looks like that's going to stall the push. Tricker trying to get out, he's caught at Chirk there, he does end up dying. It's only 3 players up. It's up to them if they really want to push this. I've got players behind them in the middle. Alt going down.
Dubious just cleans up Alt as well. It looks like they're content with letting their soldiers just spam them out of big door too.
Yeah, I mean you don't really have many options there if you're them. But we've obviously seen a little bit of a reset here because we've got both teams with full ad. Or full Uber, sorry, not full ad.
They both full Uber ad in an even Uber situation. How about that? Whatever the fuck that means.
Ubers are even, I think, is what happened. Yachty goes down at Choke to, he zigged when he should have zagged, ended up on some stickies. But yeah, I think we're just going to see a little bit of a stalemate. Obviously both teams have shown their capability for off-classing, so we might see something like that to break it. Jack did try to go in, got cleaned up pretty convincingly. I suppose we'll just wait. There's a bit of a fight going on at Big Door, but nothing really too convincing so far.
If this takes as long as I think it could take, I might go make a cup of tea mid-game. Jack is up on the engineer. Yeah, he's committed to this engineer push as well.
Sure.
Jack on the engineer class. What will he build? Builds a teleporter.
I'm sure that his plan is to... I mean, first and foremost, you need the teleporter exit so that you can, your team can fail a little,
Yeah.
And now he's building a sentry over towards Big Door. See, this is good. This means that they can turtle a bit. And given that they are already a round up, yeah, you've got 11 minutes left on the clock, but yeah, you can turtle.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of that Lugnuts, my best friend. I love him so much. He sent me a graph that A-Bender had made them when they were all being mentored by A-Bender. Something about like the more rounds you have up on the board compared to the amount of time that's on the board, like the more advantages you have to secure to make it worth it, right? To make a push worth it. So, you know, Dream, I think they've got a bit of a sense that like this is a bit of a back and forth game. It's really anybody's game if they get the space and the time. So given that, you know, setting up shop, even if they just kill 5 minutes, like that's 5 minutes off of the clock. As I say that, the Uber gets forced out and the dispenser goes down, and Max just gets juggled a little bit in choke, and they're gonna have to start backing out. The sentry is doing a bit of work. Doesn't take down anybody, but it does distract her a little bit. And Alt's down, Dubious is down, Hawk is go down as well. But it's just Daz and Mac, and they're just gonna, you know, get themselves way the heck out of
teleporter
dodge.
exit's still there. Dubious came through, but he does look like he's gonna get cleaned up pretty quickly. He takes down Tree.
Truly based. Top 10 TF2 plays of the month worthy, in my humble opinion.
They knew about the teleporter exit, but they were like spamming it from a distance, so he still managed to get through. But yeah, they've got 20% ad here. It looks like they're going to try to fight second, which I think is probably a good maneuver, especially given what we were just talking about. Down a player, Alt going down as well. That's good. It's roughly even now. Both teams sort of just repositioning, trying to take control of that middle again. Rohan actually getting on pretty fast, but he does get damaged a lot, has to back out. Jack spamming the choke there, and they've just forced him out for free. Like, no kills on either side. It's just beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes. I know, you're just salivating at the mouth, seeing teams back out without risking their lives. Oh my god, the Ubers come out and I wasn't even paying attention. Shit. You're seeing Hawk, oh my god. Hawk goes down. Oh, it's a collapse here by DLab. They're just part of Feed Incorporated. So many players gone down. It's just Tricka. It's not going to be enough. Dream Circle Jerk 3-1 on goalie with 9 minutes to play. I'm going to say it was the teleporter play. Without Dubious picking up Tricka, you know, DLab takes that round.
They wouldn't have been able to fight too if he didn't. So
100%.
I don't know, man. It's possible.
300 IQ plays by Jack.
Alt's very fast. He's underneath. It looks like he may try to go through. No, he does not. Alt's about to jump up. Trick is coming forward as well. Daz taking a lot of damage, ending up on that lower ground. A lot of damage coming out of Snatch as well. Rohan, pretty much the only player left on his team. He does go down. Mac trying to get away. And he does get pounded. So that is another mid.
I mean, well, that's the type of mid that you want once you get those rounds against you. You know, you want to be able to, okay, well, we've just lost 2 rounds. This is not looking good. What are we going to do? Oh yeah, we're going to kick ass on the mid. And you know, a very, very convincing. And now they're just able to push in with full Uber ad. They do have that triple off class play going on. The heavy hasn't gone down yet. The sentry's just gone down. A lot of the players on Dream Circle Jerk are weak, but it doesn't matter. Pyros can just WM1. It's as effective in comp as it is in casual, and it's just going to be Hawk up. And yeah, he's just gonna give it up. He knows he's not going to make it out of there alive, and that is quite a convincing last hold by Dream.
Mist really did a number on Snatch there. He distracted that guy for all of his Uber, so that by the time he was fighting again, that's why the heavy stayed alive so long.
Yeah.
By the time he was fighting again, he was no longer Uber. Just got minced by the heavy and then cleaned up by a different gamer.
Yeah, well, I think if you're DLab, you could have really afforded to take that 5 to 10 extra seconds to like peek in and be like, okay, they got a dispenser, they've got a pyro, and they've got a heavy. Let's figure out how to push it in. Instead, I think they are just too gung-ho. And I see this time and time again, teams trying to force the issue. That's like, okay, we got full ad, we got to use it right now. It's like, you've got full ad, just take 5 seconds, breathe, configure your plan, and use in. As I say that, this other Dreams used in immediately. The sentry has gone down. They still do have Mist up on the Pyro. He's doing a lot of work. Everybody's on fire here. Oh, will it make a difference? No, it doesn't, because everybody dies. And it's
Mac's
just
going for it,
it's
though.
just Mac trying to big ball it, but
He takes out a scout.
I mean, but that's a last to last, 2 failed last pushes back and forth on opposite ends of the map. And are we going to see the same from DrugLab? Are they going to go straight back to their last as well? They're being...
Look, they have to be really cautious here because Red Hawk has full Uber and they know both the soldiers are up. And pushing into mid as med here, I can tell you from experience, fucking terrifying. They do actually manage to get out without losing any players, which is brilliant. They do actually take out Rohan as well, which gives them a lot more room to push into 2 here, which they've done straight from big door. It's good gaming, but yeah, it's just absolutely terrifying trying to push into mid there with ad because you know you're going to get jumped. You know someone's going to come from under.
Oh god, especially if you're pushing into choke instead of they use it immediately, by the way. DrugLab, they haven't taken care of this heavy. They haven't taken care of the Pyro. Trick is going to go down early in the fight. Jack has gone down. This has gone down. This Pyro is still doing work. Hawk's gone down too. They've dropped 3 players. They haven't really gotten any of the frags that they need. The Pyro's doing God's work out there, and it's just Snatch and his alias is the Chimpsons, but he goes down too. It's just Snatch. Yeah, Xylife. He's going to do his best to get some sort of anything that he can on that point. But the cavalry, they have arrived. The respawners are here, and I'm afraid for you, Sayo. It's not going to work out. And now
You're right. It's another failed last push.
Will we see it happen again? Who knows? I mean, I think the big issue there was, again, both teams. One, they're pushing into probably the hardest last to push when you've got those full off class set up. But as well, Uber does come out from Dream Circle Jerk, and they pick up Alt Tricka and Sayo, and this goes down.
Xylife has gotten behind though, and he's already on 2. He can probably bring back most of their players here.
Getting the back cap.
Jack actually giving him a bit of a jump. I think he's just trying to block the point. He knows he doesn't want to take that fight. Dubious is here to clean up as well. That's enough. That's all it took.
Yeah.
Yachty's actually behind as well though. He's in elbow. I don't think they know. He's just pushed into choke a little too early.
Yeah.
It does get cleaned up. He does take out Rohan though, which is pretty good effort, I would say.
But I was gonna say, I think again, these teams they're a little bit too impatient when they're pushing into last. You know, it is difficult to push in against a Pyro, a Heavy, and an Engineer, but you know, it's definitely possible. But it's not possible when you're like, oh god, we gotta go right now. You know, just slow. You know, take the foot off the pedal a little bit there, Tiger. You know, formulate a plan.
Both soldiers are in behind. They're onto Mac. He does go down. That's really good for them. Rohan's actually up on Engie going for the Jack strat. He doesn't do very much with it, but he does actually fall with the med at Big Door. I'm gonna have to see, are they gonna jump Red Hawk here? I think they might. It looks like Daz is getting ready to do some damage to him. It's done a little. Red Hawk's gone down a tiny little bit. Jack's onto him and takes him out. Beautiful. Good timing too, because his med has just come up. His med's come choke though, which is a bit Yahoo. Yachty goes down.
I think at this point in the game, if you're DrugLab, you had to keep your med alive there. You know,
Yeah.
I think once they saw a demo and the soldier, they should have just backed out. It's better to save that Uber than, you know, have what happens, especially when you're down 3-1 with only 2.5 minutes left to play as well. So I'm not going to say it's game over, but like DrugLab are really going to have to perform some miracles here in order to salvage this round.
I might also say I think they sacked 3 players? 2 maybe? For the med there with this ad. Also, if they were healing a little earlier, it would have been even. But because I think it took him about 20 seconds by my count of being alive before he started healing. Mac, that is, because he was busy. I think he got a frag there actually.
Yeah.
I think it was Daz. But yeah, they've just lost 2.
Yeah, it's
Yachty.
Alt and Yachty have both gone down, and I mean now they've got full Uber ad. They do have Jack up on the engineer, who, until he just died, had 1 health. But,
Oh, Red Dot got a saw! If he lives here!
well, the Uber has come out. It's just a full
He's
solo
so
on
close to
Dubious at the
having
moment.
the sentries up!
I think he's gonna get... Oh, no, he's gonna go down!
Died! Missed!
Oh, missed. Just coming up clutch.
Oh, he died with 95, man!
Oh, that hurts. That hurts my heart to
It's
see
fine,
that.
his team held, but the teleport is still up, yeah? Is the tele exit still
The-
up? No, the exit's gone down, my bad.
As long as the telly's still
Dubious
up,
is going for it. Dubious getting in through main.
Does he get
just
it?
run into both scouts in the mid. Not a good spot to be in. He does end up getting cleaned up for his effort. Mist is ready though. He's behind.
Oh,
I think he's gonna get rid of. He
The
does.
off-class BM has come out. Mac has come up as the Huntsman sniper. He actually got a frag too. I think he got Hawk.
There's 50 seconds left.
You know,
I'm
my-
happy to call the map. I think as they are. That's the first map going the way of the Dream Circle Jerk. Yeah.
Yes, and this was their map pick, so maybe a little bit of confidence going into to map, going into this first map. But I think as well, we saw this with last week too. Or I think DLab was up. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I know you were casting that. DLab was up 4-0, and they ended up dropping 3 rounds and were very close to dropping that elusive 4th round. So I think if you're Dream Circle Trick, you don't want to get too cocky in the first match. You really have to stay focused, and if it's a roll on Snakewater, definitely start pulling out the BM. But you got to stay focused in this first map because you really don't want it to come back around and bite you in the ass.
So, in my opinion, I think DLab isn't done. Like, they lost the first map for last week as well, but they ended up 5-0 actually the next 2 maps. It was too messy for DLab. Every last they pushed, there was no focus fire at all. Everyone was missed on one side, pyro. No one was shooting the same thing. They were all shooting like separate things. They didn't even actually kill the pyro. They never even killed the pyro. Barely, there was just no focus fire. Couldn't win half of the last pushes. In fact, they had maybe 4 last pushes they beefed. Easily winnable. They just, Sayo and Yachty, and they need to be shooting the same stuff. They're not shooting the same. Even Alt and Tricker need to be jumping in as well. I feel like they were playing more baity, and then when they were up last, it was kind of all over because their team was wiped. So I think I did predict a 3-1 scoreboard to Dream Circle Jerk, but I still think DLab will take this one 5-2. They've been playing a lot of Snakewater, and it's not going to be as hard as for a last to push as a pyro heavy and NG on a gully wash last, which is the ultimate setup.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's a really good point, especially with Gully Wash. The last point, it's so enclosed. There's so much going on, and it's also claustrophobic. Whereas with Snakewater, there is only those 3 places you can push in, but you have a lot more space to play with, and you can afford to maybe push in that left or right or from bottom and play it a lot more slowly and just milk it a little bit, then pop, or even if you can be bold and try to do an even Uber's push and force the Uber out first and pop back in. Whereas with Gully Wash, it just I don't know, it didn't really seem to work for DLab, and I mean it worked for Dream Circle Jerk. They did get the 3 rounds, but I think they were suffering from that same problem as well, where they were when they had those big Ubers and those big advantages, they just rushed it a little bit, I feel. And
I hate to interrupt, man, but I have to discuss these logs. Mac went 8 for 6. Okay?
Okay.
There's a lot going on in these.
Well, let's pull up these logs. All right, do we have logs on the screen? We do have logs on the screen. Take us through some of these logs, Snazzy.
Good lord. So, I mean, obviously, you got a fat kill count coming out on the side of Snatch. That didn't convert to as many rounds as he might have wanted. 24 for 14 he went, followed closely by Mist with 23 and 18. The damage stats are looking pretty good as well for Sao Snatch again, popping off a 325 DPM, followed closely by Daz with 305. It's just this med stat going even is like pretty fat on med, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
you and I both play med, so you understand.
And he had
Going-
more frags than deaths, which is so
Going
stupid.
8 for 6 is like grotty, man. Like,
Absolutely based. And five of those kills were when he was playing medic. 2 of them was when he was off-classing Huntsman Sniper, but
true. I didn't
Absolute-
think about that.
absolute shad medic play regardless. Getting 5 kills is impressive. Like, you know, I'm a bit more passive in my play style. I don't like to, you know, shoot as many arrows in an effort to get a frag, but like, if I get 2, I'm happy. If I get 5, you know, I'm sending that to top 10 TF2 plays of the month, man. You know? But yeah, Seo actually to that point, Seo's having a really good game for DrugLab just by pure stats. But I feel like, you know, he would have been let down or feel let down by Yachty and Zylife, who really were probably not able to capitalize off of the damage output that he was giving. You know, and the frags are fairly even, 103 frags on the side of Dream Circle Jerk to DrugLab's 99. But Dream just much more clinical in those last pushes. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see if that's the same case in this next map as well.
Like, they really need to go off Seo's damage a lot more. I mean, the guy went 24 to 14, 325 DPM in a pretty stalemate map, you know, for a 3-1 scoreboard. I think, you know, Alt and Trick as well, they need to connect better. I think the flank of Drug doing quite well, you know. Zylife went 19 to 16 with 19 DPM, but 18 assists. That's pretty good for a Gullywash flank scout, especially when it's a pretty good stalemate. But, you know, I think we're going live now.
Yeah, we are going
indeed
live. I'm back on the Daz cam for the first round again. He's just coming through. So now Snatch is actually there a little bit early. He gets a sticky off onto it. Both demos taking a sticky. Snacks down very low. Jack taking him out pretty much instantly. He does get cleaned up for his efforts, but it leaves his team a lot of room to maneuver. They're getting forward. They haven't taken much of the high ground though, so Yachty, who's now on Soldier, and Tricker are just up there being able to do a lot of damage. Yachty's come forward. He's cleaned up miss. Dubious went down on the side there. It's just Daz and Mac. Daz going down very low, takes out Tricker, but Tricker did clean up his med. Daz down on 40, and he gets cleaned up by Yachty. And that's a mid.
Actually, Yachty's on Soldier, actually. I just want to point that out. Yachty's on Soldier, and Alt is on Pocket Scout. I think that's really... Actually, Jack on Spy, sorry.
It's an interesting shakeup. Jack on Spy doesn't matter, just down immediately.
Yeah. But now
I think that's a good
with,
change, though.
what's that, like 70, 80 ad? 80.
That's
80
8,
ad.
yeah, definitely.
And to play it down with Jack. I
they're
mean, this
just
is
gonna-
pretty clean.
You straight in. The sentry does go down quite early. They do have a heavy weapons guy up, but he's getting focused real hard. And Alt does go down on the point, just gets nuked by the stickies. But the med and the demo are going to get the cap time on the point, and that's an early first round for
Just want to point
DrugLab.
out, that's so much more like it, you know, when they're actually focusing their targets and need to be focused, but more Gullywash are just shooting, you know, different shit. You know, kill the entry, the heavy, and then go for the combo, and that's how the round's going to go.
Yeah.
But getting into
also good point play. Sorry, Snazzy.
No, you can go.
No, you go.
Okay,
Please, I
we're
insist,
looking
I
at this
insist.
mid, it looks like Daz went down very low. He did end up having to hide for a second there, but he's gotten himself an arrow. His whole team is around him though, because they haven't got much control of the top here. They're actually getting absolutely minced. I didn't even know what to tell you. They're just all...
They just all died. Jesus.
I just want to say, you know, every mid, I think Daz is playing so far back in his saw. Like, you know, if he actually needs to start walking forward more, because I feel like he's actually baiting his scouts. You know, they're all like ahead of Crate, and he's playing like in the door of saw, which is not really what you want to do in demo. Is like, if you look at Seo, he walks forward and he just pipes everything and sticks everything. That's like the demo you want to be playing. I think Daz needs to really pick it up again, though. Otherwise, this is just gonna be another 5-0.
I mean, well, to your point from the last map too, you know, DrugLab lost the first map, the last game, or the last series, and ends up winning this one. But we're gonna see the Uber come in again. The heavy hasn't been focused. He's getting focused now. He's just gone down, but they've dropped 3 players in the process. Maybe a little bit of disconnect going there, but they're gonna get some point time played here, but it's not gonna amount to anything, despite it being a full Uber ad push. everybody dies. Can't explain that. Maybe you can.
Again, the
But-
same mistake with Focus Fire. The heavy just didn't die after that long of a time. You know, their soldiers actually jumped their combo when their heavy was pumping damage out. You know, making the same mistake. If they keep playing like that, they're not going to be able to win this.
Yeah, and you did see as well, they didn't really utilize their demo to actually bait the point a little, which is so essential on this last. I think. If you're not baiting the point, then you're just going to lose the point. Missed the Zyla. Dubious taking out Yachty. It's looking like a pretty good push. They are pushing with the Uber ad. Might let someone else take over.
I can take over if you need
So
to.
my brain is stopped working
I was
after
just wondering.
like 6 hours of casting TF2
No, I get you.
cumulatively today.
Coming into it though, it looks like they've just taken second more or less for free. Obviously, if you're the red team here, if you are DrugLab, you don't want to be fighting that. Not with Uber this ad. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Actually,
Looks like they're taking it
pushing.
straight in through lower though. Dubious in real far, real early before he has to use.
Really bad push, to be honest. Really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of pushing Uber ad as well as they had kind of half an NG. I mean, they traded a scout for a soldier, which is a pretty good trade in my opinion, but they're actually going to re-push this top left.
I actually like re-pushing here. This is really good. They've gotten a lot
They've
of
got
damage.
Trevor,
They've
they've
cleaned
got
up the
Hawk,
med.
they've got
They've
ult.
cleaned up a scout.
We just
They're
need
getting
to
minced.
cap time
Yeah.
and Jack
It's not
gets the
bad.
point. No, it's a really good re-entry by Dream Circle Drake right there.
Yeah, I mean, Sayo needs to be top right there. I think he was playing actually under, maybe trapping it up, which is really questionable when they're just going to push top right, kill your scout and your medic straight away, and that's actually the round for blue team.
Yeah, but on this mid, I'm getting on the Jackham. He's super fast, super hard, right on the snatch, gets cleaned up with a fat midi. Rohan also getting a fat midi right onto Yachty, but he does not die in this case. There's a few gamers getting fragged. Rohan taking out 2, ult, and someone else. I missed who it was.
Actually, really
It
nice
was
fight from
Alton
Sayo.
Xylife, I think. Tricka, by the way, survived on 3 health, gets a nice arrow in his face. And it looks like this is going the way of Dream. They're starting to take that pressure on the point. There's a soldier right above them causing some havoc, but he's just going to go down. And they've got all of their players now, and they're going to start pushing in from under into second here. Still even Ubers, but you know, especially those first 2 mid fights, you know, going really in the way of in favor of DrugLab. That's the type of pressure the type of mid fight you want to see. And they're just gonna, looks like they're just willing to take this, you know, take lobby. They know it's gonna be even Ubers, so we're probably not gonna force the issue too much. Actually, I lied, they do force the issue. The Ubers are exchanged in lobby, and there's a lot of cap time on the point, but that player is gonna go down. Dubious miss, both go down. A sentry is going to deny Jack jumping in, and then Mac is going to go down. So it's just Daz and Rowan up, but Rowan is going to hide a little bit up in that connector area, and will he be spotted? I don't think he has been spotted.
I actually don't know what is like, you know, why they're taking these Uber trades with their whole team. Like, either Mac is just really bad at counting Ubers, or they're just going for these stupid trades. But I want to say, last mid, you know, Dubious actually got piped by Sayo and he died, and, you know, Yachty and Tricka didn't even jump. They didn't be bothered to jump. They just sat there taking all this spam, and that's like why they lost the mid. Really to better than that, you know. But misses on sniper and forwards actually, and he goes down really bad. You know, lost right now. They're gonna take this through grass, I believe. 100% Uber ad. Yep. But they're losing it though, actually.
Yeah, it's evened up almost. You know, they do have about 30, maybe 20 ad at this point. So they want to use it. They're gonna have to use this very quickly, and they are gonna use on the grass. I don't know if that was a force. It was not on the right cam at
It
the
was
time.
a force, but he shouldn't have forced it because he actually got one piped. You know, he forced right after you got piped, which is really questionable. You're gonna take this through though.
Well, if you look at Sayo, they haven't capped second, but he's just standing on the point. All they have to do is just sneeze on second, and then Sayo will be in prime position. And I know they haven't noticed him. Rowan's just jumped right past him, and but I think
They
Sayo's
need this
just gonna,
back cab. This would be the best run I've ever seen. Sayo is still there, but actually on the mid cab now. Maybe Sayo's gonna go on the second cab.
I mean,
No,
he's
but
certainly in a
Jack's
prime
fighting him.
position.
Jack's fighting him.
I think if he wanted to get on that mid cap on the second and get the back cap, he had to be on that cap 2 or 3 seconds.
Jack's gonna go
before,
down to him, I think.
yeah.
No, he might. Say's gonna die actually. Yep.
There he is.
Shocking death from Sayo. Especially a really late one when your medic and soldiers down. That's to be like a basic round for blue.
Yeah,
he
he had to get that pressure onto second once it was clear that they weren't going to cap the point, and I think he just kind of dawdled too long, and it doesn't amount to anything. And now, now Dream has a full Uberad, and basically as much they can take a lot of time on this point because it's only the only off class on the side of DrugLab is that heavy, and one of the soldiers does go down. Both soldiers duking it out on that top shack. I don't know what the hell that's called. But the Uber does come out, and they're just going to get right on the point. ×3 on the point. Rowan and Dubious are going to cap, and it's going to be 2-1 for Dream Circle Jerk.
You can sort of see the difference, by the way, because there was a heavy on that last as well who didn't get focused. He was alive at the end of the round, but he was so far from the point that they could just walk around it. Like, what does it matter, you know?
If you've got the heavy, but you don't have a heavy in a good position, you might as well not even have the heavy, man.
Yeah, someone else take me through this mid. Let's go.
All right, so we're gonna see this mid fight unfold. It's just gonna be actually a big bomb onto. Ooh, Mac goes down quite early. Tricka cleans him up, and now it's just gonna be Jack with a fat rocket onto Hawk as well. But so many of Dream Circle Jerk have just gone down. It's just Daz up on. He's gonna be leaving. He's gonna be leaving Saw right now, but he's gonna get caught out. He's down to 12 health. Where has he gone? Oh, he's just gonna.
I mean. It's just another mid where Daz is just sitting back in his saw. Like, I don't know what kind of demo he's playing currently, because it's like, you know, it's his whole team is just in front of him, and he's literally, you know, outputting minimal damage from that position. He really needs to connect better with his team.
My best guess is that he's probably fearful of Sayo demo getting a fat headshot right under Yachty.
That's the thing though, if you're fearful of Sayo, he's going to do so much to your team. You need to be constantly pressuring Sayo, and that's like the way to defeat him, you know, constantly pressure him, kill him, and that's it. Letting him walk all over you is just going to make your team worse. I think he's much depending on his scouts and his soldiers currently to do the work for him. It's actually currently working, which is really strange.
But we're seeing a pretty big jump coming out of Mr. Yachty. He does take out Dubious, but he gets cleaned up pretty quickly by Daz. The Uber comes out. Redhawk getting bounced really far forward while he's Uber. Most of his game is down low. The blue team's pretty much all still alive, but they do drop their demo. Rohan going in, he gets dropped as well. Missed, the only one left alive.
I was gonna say, he's missed, I think, 12 shots now or something. He literally... Oh, but he hits a shot and... what's his name?
He hits the hero shot. That's all he needs.
I think he missed maybe like 8 to 10 shots in that window, which is really questionable for one of the top snipers in Australia. Maybe not anymore.
Holt throwing down the gauntlet. Or sorry, Oz throwing down the gauntlet. Did not mean to confuse you with Oz. But yeah, I mean, it's just been a bit back and forth this round has. And I mean, DrugLab does have big ad here, and Rowan's just gonna stuff up his jump. He lands on that little overhang right over the entrance of the point.
Too bad from his sniper game.
Hulk gets cleaned up by the Mac arrow. And now, but you're gonna see them. They're getting pressure on to second.
I gotta say, they're still pressuring too, but they're down 3 with 80%. My balls are sucking up inside my body. My butthole is puckered. I can smell the push, but it hasn't come yet. So I'm kind of just like, my whole body is just sort of tensed up for no reason, you know?
I mean, they're not jumping any soldiers to that sniper. If they're jumping any soldiers, it's just a really weak jump. Like, so much shots off. It's actually insane at this point.
Well, the Uber does come out. They're gonna focus the heavy. Looks like, or maybe it looks like they're just content on playing the point. The heavy does go down. So does Jack. So does Mac.
Beautiful.
And then every player is just systematically picked off.
So this is what I was saying, by the way. You gotta get that bait. You gotta be just pushing that point so hard on this map, I think. Because you can put your demo in so many spots where they got better shit to shoot at, but he's doing all the damage, you know? I
mean, I saw ult, and he killed the heavy instantly, and then he instantly started baiting the point, which is the most perfect play, because they all just dropped on the point, Sayo and Trick up, boom, 1-2, and they're dead.
Yeah, but looking at this mid, we got Tricker doing a really big high bomb.
Big
He actually gets
bomb.
away with it. He doesn't get deleted mid-air. Daz going down, the first one to
Tricker
die.
goes
He was
down,
playing a
Hulk
little bit
goes down.
further back. Got cleaned up by a
Hawk goes
scout.
down. It's
But
just
man-
Sayo and Xylife up at this point, and Xylife is going to go down, and it's just Sayo, and
He takes the med though, Xylife. That was a good frag.
he gets
He
the
managed
med,
to take
but
out Red Hawk.
even then, you know, five players down on that mid fight is, you know, you really want to continue if you're if you're both teams, continue to gain that foothold and stamp your authority on that match, and having a full wipe on mid is not the way to do it. It is going to be even Ubers, so they're going to just be
I
holding
just say
quite
Max
close
on
here.
crit streak actually.
Mac on the crits, what will he shoot? Who knows? But the question is Daz running the quickie bomb? Does not look like he is.
Definitely
know.
not.
But that is a bit of an ambitious play there. It'd be interesting. I'm very intrigued to see where they're going to push in and what type of play this is going to be. I imagine they're going to be using this on Daz, but they got to get themselves into position soon because they now do have crits. In fact, when they got crits, DrugLab had precisely 75%. They're just going to use it on Rowan. He gets Sayo. He gets Hulk. He gets Hawk. Oh, it's all going wrong for DrugLab. The Scout's getting a lot of time on this point. But now it's just Jack, Rowan, and
Can't
Mac.
believe they lost that. That's actually unbelievable.
I'm telling you though, you couldn't have been better prepared for that crit. Yes, you lost a lot of gamers right at the start of but you
did they
still
still have a
had the
sentry?
sentry. Exactly.
Yep.
Actually, a really good play from DrugLab. And I was gonna say, I think I like the Soldier Crit so much more than the demo in that last push because you know you have one sticky to get the most perfect sticky, and it's so easy to beef it. As I say that, 4 players die from red. It's only gonna be the medic and Xylife. That's
It's
the
gonna run
round.
straight to the last. Yeah, 3-2 for Dream.
It seems like both teams are sort of finding their way here. They're sort of both figuring out, okay, we need to push like this in order to actually get the best gain, and that's why I think we're seeing more rounds and faster. But going into this mid, someone tell me about it, please.
Well, I'm on the Dubious cam, and Dubious looks like he's gonna chill out a little bit, maybe not commit too far into the push. And Daz is actually fairly far forward. A big bomb onto Mac, and he surfs away, escaping all sorts of danger. Excellent surfing. He's really been grinding those surf mats, as we can tell. But as I say this, DrugLab has taken
so
a
much
lot of
damage
space
from
on the
Sayer.
point. There's so much damage, and then Mac and Daz are going to escape. Daz goes down, and then it's just Mac. He escapes barely. He cratered almost, but Sayo does not notice him. But he picks up miss with some fat pipes mid-air. That's
It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
I just want to comment that I think, you know, I don't really like how Rowan played that mid because he actually jumped, but they're going to actually Uber through. I'll stop there.
They just Uber through, and they haven't picked up any players. They're still unsure of what to shoot. They do pick up Dubious.
They have Uber now as well.
They picked up Rowan, but yeah, the Uber is going to come out from
Three
Dream,
down from blue. 3 down from blue.
and Alt just barely touches the point. Baits it a little bit. Trick is just going to try to bomb it, and Trick is going to go down. Unlucky if you DrugLab.
Look at Yodi's hiding there. Look at Yodi's hiding.
Is Yodi running Pain Train though? I don't think he can cap this fast enough without getting cleaned up.
No,
man.
he's on the escape plan,
He's about
Oh,
to
he
get
gets
seen
called
as well.
out there by Rowan.
Yeah.
and is going to go down. No,
He's
he
actually
hit
gonna-
Rowan. He picks up Rowan. He's going to commit, but he's just going to get mowed down by the heavy. Unlucky Rowan, but good effort. Or sorry, unlucky.
Red should have definitely
Home.
fought there when they were down basically 2 players actually at that point. Like I don't know why they didn't fight there, kind of baiting Yodi there. But they shouldn't. They definitely also shouldn't. You know, not hold this. I believe it's even. Yeah. 3-2 scoreboard onto the blue team, and it's just gonna be another stalemate, I believe. I just want to comment on last mid. The way Rowan was playing is he never really jumped. He never really jumped, you know, the enemy gamers. He just jumped back to his medic to clean up a soldier, which is kind of the stupidest thing you can do. You know, they're gonna push catwalk before I stop. No Uber out yet.
Well,
Well, red Daz goes down.
They're going to get the Uber forced out though. When Tricket goes down, Alt surviving on 5 health, don't even know where the heck he is. And the Ubers have faded, so now the post-fight has begun. There's some damage being put out. Hawk goes down, actually. Hawk goes down. Yachty goes down, but so does Mac. So does, oh my god, everybody's gone down almost. It's just I can't even keep up at this point. My brain is totally fried. Rowan's just trying to get any scout that he can. He's not going to pick up anybody. It's just Daz who has gotten all the way out, and Alt is going to start getting some cap time on the second point. And his buddies Tricker are going to get some spam maybe into that lobby. But other than that, Alt's just going to cap the point. They're going to set themselves in positions to not get pushed back into by Dream. And with 11 minutes to play, they've got about a slight 20 ad here if they keep on building well.
They're going to keep building well, though, because they're running the crits now. But it looks like they're ready to take the demo through lower, looking at their positioning now. Grinding hard. I don't know how I feel about that one. I mean, we know Jack's going to be on the engineer, because he's done that like pretty much every round. They may have spotted the crits as well, which is dangerous. They're not taking it through under. It looks like they're going to take it around through left. They've come real safe through.
And they haven't picked up anything. They get Daz, but what else are they going to get? Nothing. It's just going to be that. And now they're facing a full Uber situation, or full Uber disad, if they can get it. But they're not. Mac's going to go down in this fight, and then they're gonna cut their losses. But that, you know,
essentially went down.
If that's your losses, you know, picking up the med and still maintaining the crits ad that you have, you know, that's quite a good spot to be in if you're DrugLab going into this repush, because now they have 70% Uber, or sorry 70% crits. They're just gonna bully out Dream just on player advantage and Uber advantage alone.
Rowan's gonna go down actually. Oh, he doesn't. They need that pick though. If they want to push out last, much better.
I think what they need to do here is they need to clean up that sentry before they push with the crit.
Yeah,
if they push
I think
with the
so.
crit, it's going to be dangerous. We'll see what happens. They've got the crits. They're ready to push. Rohan's able to spam this. Crits haven't been popped yet.
Such a bad position.
Tricker goes down.
So does the demo man.
New players go down, man. They need a soldier crits. It's gonna be the best soldier crits ever. You'll see.
There's the only thing they can do. Actually, soldier crits in the lobby. No.
It's gonna wimp out, and they're just gonna. Players are just gonna get cleaned up. It's just gonna be Mac. He's gonna pop his crits in desperation. You don't have a player with you, Mac. Hawk. I apologize. I apologize for getting your name wrong too. And it's just gonna be Zylife. He's gonna be fighting Mist in lobby, but he's gonna be cleaned up, and it's gonna amount to nothing. And if you're DrugLab, 9 minutes on the board, you've really got to pick up a round here soon. You know, you don't want to lose, basically, man.
I think at this point they're just getting desperate. They're doing really stupid plays, and they're not taking time to look at anything. Even if Sayo is doing so much work, they're just really playing at their worst, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the pressure is getting to them, and they're gonna get forced out of mid here, I think. I don't even know what's going on at this point. Snazzy, you take it away.
Jack's building a level 3 at mid. That's actually really sick.
Jack going full.
He's gonna go down, and the crits.
Oh, they get the med. They get the med. They get Dubious as well, and it's just Daz and Rowan who's still up. But they're gonna get bullied out.
That's what we call murder. Absolute murder.
And Rowan, he's gonna try to sneak be really cheeky there, try to get a bomb on the ult, but it's not gonna come to anything, and they're just gonna try to take this as far into lobby and into last as they can. They pick up Mist. It's just 3 players up for Dream. And they do get a spawner, but it's just all they've got is an Inji, a Pyro, and a Demo, and the bed, for whatever that's worth. But you know, they've really got to make something happen. Hawk is only on 90 health though. He's really got to be careful. He's got 70% crits here, but you know, you can't afford to be too ambitious with your play here. You just want to get the crits. Dubious, for some reason, swaps on to the blue team. But the crits do come out. They pick up Dez, they pick up the med. Oh, can they take this and convert this into last? There is a sentry still up. That sentry's going to go down. All they need to do is start playing on the point. Mist is he's really gonna try to get the demo here, but I don't think it's going to happen. Jack in the meantime, manages to build another sentry. They haven't managed to make anything with this. They haven't done anything. The spawners for Dream have come up. They have about 40% crits, but they had a point where they had only 2 players that they had to face, and they weren't able to convert this round. Oh my god, you wonder what the hell happens.
Their scouts were down too early, so they couldn't really do much with the damage that they were doing. They had Sao, they had a soldier in there. They could do the damage, but they couldn't really do much with it. And because that sentry was still there, they're just stuck in one spot, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just such an abortive push, which is really unfortunate, man, because that looked like the round.
But they're gonna use the crits back in, and it's not gonna amount to anything. And it's just, Sao's gonna go down so early, and then they're just gonna get bombed in that entrance. Dubious does go down, so it's only been 1 frag exchange. But now if you're DrugLab, you're facing a full Uber disad, and not only is it full Uber disad, you're still on the crit screen. You know, so you can build real quickly, but you've really got to play very tight and very coordinated to, you know, maneuver any sort of Uber that comes in your face.
Yachty's gonna go into an NG at last. I think this is one of the worst DrugLab's ever played. They're in just a shocking form right now. It's really looking awful for them, actually, the way they're playing. Behind, he's basically... Well, I think they deserve to lose this game, but it's actually been a pause.
But yeah, a pause has come out, so I think I would probably... Mitch, our producer, commander-in-chief, says it might have been a server crash, but it actually was not. False alarm. But even then, if you're DrugLab, you know, it might be a good time to call a pause and be like, hey, what the hell is going on? Why are we playing like this? You know, it's 2 or 3 Uber pushes that have completely just failed. And the crits does come out. He's going to pick up Rowan for his efforts, but they're just going to get Uber back into. But they only pick up old mate Yachty, and it just really hasn't really happened for DrugLab. You know, Dream Circle Jerk, you know, they haven't been playing out of their minds either, but you know, they've played enough to capture 3 points to DrugLab's too. So if you're DrugLab, you know, especially the Met has not gone down, so he hasn't had an opportunity to switch off of the crit screen. So they're really playing this permacrits theory at the moment. And you know, it just hasn't happened.
To be fair, they're just putting a bad name to the crits. Like, it's just shocking. It's murder. It's murder for the blue team currently. Even when they're 2 up, they can't convert a last push. Yeah. It's just embarrassing at this point.
Well, I think for Dream as well, you know, if you have that Uber ad situation, but they pick up the med. Sao finally getting the frags that he needs with the crit squeak. He does go down, but it's still, it's still DrugLab. Everybody just gets taken out. Jack, with the forward engineer play, they're just, with 4 minutes left, you know, DrugLab, they've got to make something happen here, man.
I mean, the work Sayo is doing in the rest of the team is just shocking at this point. It's awful. Like, Sayo is literally put them on the back and he's just carrying them all the way. But the soldiers, I feel like, are just doing really weak. Even I don't think they should have swapped Yachty and ult.
Yeah, I think all those mid kind of game swaps that you'll see teams pull out sometimes. You know, it's a big risk, especially if you're used to one playing maybe say ult's like the main caller, or Xylife's the main caller from the scout positions. Swapping that, it changes the dynamic completely. So it's a calculated risk, but I don't think it's a risk that's paid off for them so far.
Yeah, no way. Yachty is such a key player as a pocket scout. He's like really good with the solo biz, and changing him to Roma and for him to not even be, you know, top fragging or damaging, it's not gonna pay him off for them, and they're just gonna take a clean 3rd place.
And Jack again it really loves this forward engineer play. It's actually kind of fun to see. But now if you're Dream, you have absolutely no incentive to push. Really, it's just gonna be
Jack has a level 2 on 2nd.
And he drops in the chat. Maybe playing more MGE will help you learn how to play around a sentry. A little bit of BM, and they're just gonna get some pressure on the point here. Xylife doing his best on 1 health to try to deny the soldier. Red Hawk
3 down. I don't even see them pushing at this point. They got teleporters, they got everything. This is shocking. That is gonna take the teleporter back to 2nd. Oh no.
Well, it's one of those things too. If you're Dream, there's no incentive. You can just set up shop and just stalemate out the rest of the 2 minutes that they've got on the clock. A pause does come out here, and if that's a drug lab, maybe it was a lag, but if you're a drug lab, I with the way they're playing and with just the way they haven't been able to focus, and the fact they're having to push out with a sentry, and they keep on dropping players, it just does not look like it's going to come out. And Jack really dropping some BM in the chat, but listen, if you're stalemating and you've got the round advantage, it's more a mental game if anything. That the boys of Drug Lab, they're going to be seeing that and they're just going to be like, I'm so angry.
I mean, I can see Sayo going punching walls or something, or a couple of cones after this game. He's just lost his shit.
Probably both.
Well, they're losing to a level 2 on second. This is just murder and embarrassment.
Well, I think Jack has gotten into their head a little bit, because he's just fully BMing, and I think, they, regardless of whether or not they're the better technical players, they're certainly the better, much better at the mental side of the game.
Actually going to be sentry wars, and Ult's going to die to the sentry around there as well. That's sick. Still have 1 minute. All they need to do is just tie it up. It's one round. They have 1 minute. But if they're going to lose another round, I mean, it's shame for the Drug Lab name. It's a 3rd place for them, and it's just a filthy one as well.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen like that, and that's gonna be 4-2 in the favor of Dream.
It's left, right, good night.
Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. So, ladies and gentlemen, with 2 rounds that they'd have to get and 30 seconds to play, it's not going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, your finalist from the series is going to be Dream Circle Jerk, who are going to be playing. Let me pull up the name. Dream Circle Jerk will be playing WTF Am I, doing WTF Aid as they call it. And
so yeah, it's gonna be an easy loss for Dream Circle Jerk. They're just not ready for like Dave and bonk it up to make Mist and Daz like his bitch basically. It's gonna be farming and it's gonna be a murder, and Mist's team will be the victims this time. I think this is gonna be a pretty bad final, as bonk it up's team will make it a clean murder.
Yeah. We'll focus on that next week. Right now,
of course,
we'll focus on the victors of this game. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, Dream Circle Jerk taking the W, a convincing 2-map sweep, taking both Goalie Wash 3-1 and Snakewater 4-2 against Drug Lab. Drug Lab finishing 3rd place in season 27? Yeah, season 27 of ozfortress in the intermediate division. So bad luck, Drug Lab. Well done to Dream. Guaranteed 2nd place, but they're not going to settle for that. They're at least going to try to push for that 1st place, which you will be able to catch on CappingTV next week, God willing. We will see you there. And Mitch, my friend, our producer, Commander-in-Chief, are we going to have interviews tonight?
I just want to say, Say went 33-18 with 400 EPM, and he still ended up actually losing. I think Say would go and definitely hit his dog or something after that awful loss. Like, but not even that Say, but Roland still with 30 frags and 350 EPM. It was a pretty good game for him. Missed 22-20. Really.
I mean,
proving
the
that
frags,
he's washed if he's going to be losing to a 3rd place team.
If you look at the frags, both teams have exactly 114 frags. But yeah, on the night, Dream Circle Jerk just much more clinical in their pushes, and really more so getting frags when it counted, versus like, because you can get all the frags you want, but if you're not getting them at the time that you need to get them and in the right positions, then like it doesn't really do you much good, So unfortunately, the play for Drug Lab, trying the different scouts, they just threw everything at the wall and nothing would stick. And at the end of the day, the score is 4-2. So just looking at some of these, who top frag? I mean, yeah, Sayo top frag, but and his damage was massive, 400 DPM, but it just at times, the scouts just weren't able to follow up. Rowan going huge as well, a big 30 for 23 game, but 352 DPM But then you're going to see the soldiers for Drug Lab taking out the next two and the frags converted. But, like I said, you got to get the frags at the right time and convert them. And, Dream did
What's
that.
going
and
on,
Drug Lab
sir?
did not.
Get this
But,
away
ladies
from
and
me.
gentlemen,
Oh, this
we
is a
are...
cringe, bro. I'm gonna hit my dog.
Yeah, we're in the interview room now. We have Daz, Dubious, Jack, Rohan, and Seo. We'll start with the victors here today. We'll start with you, Dubious. How are you feeling after that game?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
decent.
Good to hear.
I think we played really well. We've been working on some stuff, and a lot of our coordination has tightened up. And we're still we played this game as if we didn't care whether we won or we lost, so we won. And we're gonna care next game, so that means we're gonna lose. But if you're around,
You guys are gonna
just
lose
go
next
in.
game either,
Yeah, I know.
if you like it or not. I'm
I
sorry
know.
to say.
Bonk's team's a bit of a powerhouse. What can I say?
I mean, we just beat them in a scrim, so sorry.
Well, you didn't beat us. So
Don't
that
sound
makes
very
no
happy,
sense.
so what's going on, big guy?
They beat us.
Because
We beat
you just
and
make
you
the
beat
game
them.
awful to play.
Your
All
mates
right.
play around
Let's
it, you know?
Whoa.
let's just chill out in the interview room a little bit. You guys take that to DMs, not in my bloody broadcast. Seo, I want to talk with you for a little bit because you
Sure, mate.
you were
I'm
going.
very happy to talk to you.
I'm glad you're here. But yeah, you on that Snakewater game and Goalie Wash too. You're putting out a lot of damage. You're doing just about everything you could hope for as a demo man, but it just did not come together on the
I
night.
wonder why that is.
Well, why is that?
Well, I think the main problem was, I don't know, like, even though I was doing well, I can't, like, as soon as I see Jack play NG, it's just, nah. I just lose all self-control to actually focus. All I think about is killing Jack in the server. Not in real life, of course.
Whoa. Do it a lad.
Well,
Yeah.
I just want to ask a question. So Daz, why'd you let Seo come on, kind of walk all over you? Make him make you his bitch.
Tried to give him a self-confidence boost, and then he walked into Jack's sentry and it just tilted him, man. We
Yeah,
had
we're
talked
just
about
capping
this
over and
pre-game.
over.
It is what it is.
Oh, it's really weird. How come
It
you
is
were
what it is.
shit-talking us all cast, and you were predicting against us, but then we rolled them?
Well,
Like, what's going
I
on
was
there?
predicting Drug Lab to win Snakewater, but
But
the sentry gun was just so powerful.
We just went crits for too long.
I
It's
did.
what-
Yeah.
lost
Oh,
us
yeah,
the
yeah, so
game.
you guys going crits, that's
I
right.
don't actually know why they put Yachty on Roma. That was kind of questionable, especially with the shocking performance
He
from
was,
him.
he
No,
was
man.
kind of only.
Yeah, I feel
Kind
like
of
I
only
feel
with
like the whole
23-21.
Can't crits the
I
sentry.
feel like all of Drug Lab did really well. It's
Just got to play around the
Well,
gun.
we individually did well. It was just chaos on our behalf. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
like, I think the main reason we lost is that one, we forgot to get off crits.
yeah, we did notice that actually.
We made some like retarded calls because we just wanted to like win so bad.
Mm.
So we just like sometimes like we're like pushing under and then like it was like, oh, let's just push.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like a couple times, at least for you guys on Drug Lab, there was a lot of last pushes where you had really good Uber advantages and, basically all the advantages that you need. But, it almost was a bit too rushed where you're like,
Yeah,
because
I
we're like,
think I
we have
expect too
Uber,
much of my
we got
team
it.
because like I get like these 3Ks and then no one kills anything else. So I don't know. So many like I don't know
Yeah.
what else to say really.
Yeah.
I mean,
played
top
well.
frag, top frag, top damage. I don't really expect much less from
Yeah.
myself.
Mhm.
But like,
You played really well, Seo.
yeah, I know I did.
But
But
your team is just anchoring you down to a level so low that
Well, not
Oz,
really.
Oz,
They just-
let's not go that far.
we just it's as much as my fault as their fault, really.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's a team game, If you
It's called Team Fortress 2.
yeah, it's not individual Fortress 2. So like if you're doing the work that you need to do, but like your team isn't following up on that, like it's still a collective effort, and everybody has a part to play in a win or a loss. And unfortunately for Drug Lab and you, Seo, unfortunately you guys have lost the game. You guys are
Well,
third place.
I've never actually gotten a third place intermediate badge, so I'm kind of pumped for that.
So there you
Really?
go. Now you
I
can
got a
flex
first,
it.
second, third,
Moving
fourth,
up,
fifth,
brah.
sixth, seventh, and eighth place badge.
So,
There you go.
well, you've just completed your collection, so big congratulations on that.
Yep.
Jack, I'm very curious for you.
Oh, that's nice.
I saw the forward sentry plays. Very, very, very aggressive engineer plays. You know, at all
Thanks.
times of the day.
I wouldn't congratulate him for it, really.
Well,
I think you can.
you're not.
We did kind of win.
Sal, you're not the one conducting the interview.
Yeah, so I can just go ahead and mute. So thanks.
But anyways,
Jazz, there's some lore behind the aggressive engineer gameplay since our 45-minute golden cap last season. With,
I think that carried across a bit of that experience.
That's where we first learned, as a team, the power of aggressive engineer.
It just works, you know. They can't sack in because they just jump to a sentry.
It was
You
luck,
have 2
Jack,
points of
nothing more,
heals?
nothing less.
What's that, Oz? Can you speak up?
I said it was luck, nothing more, nothing less.
Pure luck, that's right.
I like when Mac
rolls
stands
of
in
the
the
dice,
dispenser, and he can't
And
get
yeah,
a shot.
dispenser armor as well. It's extremely strong for a medic. But I knew that their team couldn't coordinate against a sentry, so I knew it'd work out, and it did.
Well, it's interesting, especially those off-class plays. They're so effective when you're doing it when teams don't expect you to do it, and I think as well it plays into the mental side of the game too.
Absolutely,
where,
I know
where
a lot of
they
their
see it
players
and
are
they're just like, God damn it, why is there a sentry right here? This is on mid, and it's just like, well, you know, it comes a point of like, it's not only the physical, the technical side of the game, but it's also that mental side. And if you can get into their head a little bit, and we saw that in the chat towards the end of that Snakewater game, like if you can tilt
please
them
don't
a
read
bit,
those logs. No.
I won't repeat anything that I saw.
Okay.
But
did you see my tactical pauses just to get the bind out faster?
I was lagging out a lot.
So you know, yeah, I think on all accounts, yeah, you guys played the different sides of the game very well tonight. Everybody on Dream, both the technical side, the stand on the point and get the cap side, and the, you know, we're going to get inside of your head side of the game. So a really all around a really well done performance from you guys, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys in the finals next week against What the Fuck Am I Doing? Which I have been
03, 05.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how we go, but
you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
Well,
we just gotta not tilt.
But
I just want to ask Rowan, what are your thoughts going to next week and just losing? You know, there's no hope for you winning.
All right,
I mean,
that's enough of insulting.
No,
the
it's
team.
okay. It's okay, Jazz.
It's okay.
We've
I can handle
accepted
it.
our second place. Yeah,
It's fine. We know Bonk's team is truly the better team. They've shown that the whole season. To be honest, no one can
Very
really
good
touch
work
them,
ethic.
and I'm pretty sure no team that Oz could actually put together could beat them either. To be honest,
I
I
have
mean,
to agree with that too.
at the end of the day, he's all talk. That's all I can say.
Fair enough. We're gonna wrap this up right now, so nobody else is slinging insults around in my interview room.
It's just banter.
Yeah,
Oz knows I don't mean it.
Got a bit spicy, but so that is going to conclude our coverage of the intermediate semifinals. DrugLab taking the victory, taking both maps, Gully Wash and Snakewater. Congratulations to Dream Circle Jerk. Did I say DrugLab took it? I lied. Dream Circle Jerk taking the
Huge
maps.
shout out to Dream for creating the circle jerk.
Yes.
Thanks, Dream.
Congratulations. Good luck in the finals next week, and good luck for next season, whatever you guys may do. DrugLab as well, a really well played season. Unfortunate third place, but sometimes it happens like that. So lads, enjoy your successes. This has been Just Jazz. Joined. No shout outs. Hold on.
One
shout
shout out.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Come on, thank you for
We
Sky.
all gotta shout out. Yeah,
everybody
Sky
get one each.
Okay,
Sky did,
I
fuck off.
will go down the list. Daz, you get the first shout out.
I mean, it's obvious. We just got to shout out the managers, Sky and Dib, being with us the whole way. Moral support, you know. It's just, we wouldn't be anywhere without them.
Beautiful. Dubious shout outs.
Shout out to our Chief Executive Officer, Dip, and our Sub Chief Executive Officer, Sky. Shout out to the team. We fucking own. Good luck losing. Shout out to you guys for casting it. Shout out to Seinfeld, Seraph, Von, and Lev. Yep, that's me. Still shout out to my servo. Fuck yeah! I love my servo.
Jack, shout outs any?
Well, thank you, casters, for actually casting the game and
Of course.
producing and analysing because it's going to be great fun to rewatch later tonight. I'm going to have a few take out a few to it.
Yeah, just if you're the type of person to punch a cone, do one for me, please. My shout out, I don't know, shout out to everybody watching. I'm ready to go to bed. Mac, any shout outs?
Sky and Dip, and also gotta shout out Andrew. Good old Munch.
Mate, Munch. Thank you.
Yeah,
Munch.
gotta shout out Munch as well. Come on.
I think he's the reason we're coming second, actually.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then Mitch, they can't even hear you on cast, so I'm just gonna take Mitch shout out. Shout out to whoever Mitch is gonna shout out. Snazzy, any shout outs from your end?
Oh, nothing in particular. Shout out Scott Morrison for marking me as essential cuz. Fuck yeah.
Oh, Snazzy, how you going?
Oh yeah, not bad.
It's been a while. See you at LAN. Oh wait.
Oh, womp. And then Rowan, you've got the last shout out for the night, and then I'll close it up. Okay.
Obviously, shout out to Sky and Dip. You know, probably the best players on our team. Definitely pushing us to get this far. Also, shout out to all of DLab as well. They played really well. And yeah, that's it.
All right, and as I said like 2 minutes ago, this is going to conclude CappingTV's coverage of the intermediate semifinals. Be back here next week as we're going to be covering, hopefully, the intermediate main and open grand finals. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button or the follow button. And as I said, my name is Just Jazz. I've been joined by Snazzy and Oz tonight with Mitch on production. Congratulations. Shout out Nexus. Congratulations, Dream, Circle Jerk, for your victory, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I want to shout out Memories of the Boys, okay?
Oh, great.